Hey y'all, it's Bailey with Reclaim Grace. I'm so happy you clicked on this video. It's so great seeing y'all 2 times this week, and I know y'all are excited as I am for the 2025 spring IOD release. I'm sure y'all have seen all 17 amazing products they just came out with. I'm going to be using a couple of the new release items in today's projects that I hope y'all enjoy. Y'all let me know which project is your favorite, and we're going to get started right now. Our first set of projects are these cute little nesting containers. It was a set of 4 that I picked up for $6.99 at an vendor marketplace like I sell at, and I thought that was a really good price, especially for 4 of them, and it was kind of like a blank canvas. So I picked those up, gave them a good dusting off, and I'm going to paint just the lids with a few coats of raw silk by Fusion. I really liked the color stain that was on these containers, so I decided to leave that on the bottom half of our little containers. My raw silk paint is drying up on me, so I'm having to pick out little dried chunks of paint as I'm giving them a few layers of paint, but that is okay. I'm going to paint right over that little tack because we are going to come in after our paint is dry and give these a light distressing just around the sharp edges and around that tack and bring out some gorgeous detail. Now we are going to be using my absolute favorite product from this release, the Spring Melanie Paint Inlay. Man, this is a gorgeous design. I love the muted colors and every single page in this book. I've picked out 4 designs that I want to put on the lids, and we're going to start with this cute, it kind of reminds me of the color Apothecary from DIY bunny scene. I'm going to mist the paint side of my paint inlay, and I'm coming in with Dixie Belle Flat Clear Coat to apply my paint inlay in. I'm going to apply an even coat on top of the lid and then apply my misted paint inlay, paint side down of course, flatly into that clear coat. Going to give it a good rub just to make sure everything has made good contact. Remist the top of the paint inlay, just using a blue shop towel to get rid of any excess water. Then I'm going to dry it down with my heat gun. As you can see, it has shrank, and that is a good sign that the paint inlay is dry and ready to be remisted. Going to remist, give it a few seconds to activate those paper fibers. Remist some more if you need to, and then I'm going to pick a corner and slowly peel back at like a 45-degree angle and reveal all that beauty. Going to grab my next lid and my next design, figure out placement, mist the paint side of the paint inlay again, and just repeat that process, apply my clear coat down, pushing that paint inlay into that clear coat, dry it with my heat gun, and it only takes less than a minute to dry the paint inlays with the heat gun, and I get the same results using the heat gun versus letting it dry naturally. I personally do not feel like it hinders the results at all. I love this cute design. Here is the 3rd lid. This rooster or hen is gorgeous. And my 4th lid is this little bunny label. I gave that time to dry and then went over them with a clear coat by Rust-Oleum, and this project is done. I'm going to price these for $22 for the set. Y'all let me know about what y'all think about this project and this paint inlay. Our second project is this metal filing container I picked up from Salvation Army for, I believe that says $159. We're going to remove that tag and give it a good clean with some Windex. This thing was pretty dirty, so I'm going to make sure I have this baby nice and clean. Before I come in with paint, I'm going to use some 220 used sandpaper and just scuff up this surface. Just want to create some micro texture here so our paint will stick very well. I dusted off any sand and dust with that same cleaning rag, and we're going to come in with Raw Silk by Fusion again. And like I said in the first project, I'm trying to get rid of this container because it is getting old, and some of the paint, I am horrible about closing my paint lids. So some air has gotten into the container and it's thickening up and creating chunks. But regardless, this paint still worked beautifully, and I'm going to give our filing cabinet 3 good coats, trying to get a nice smooth finish. I'm going to be adding these gorgeous, my all-time favorite design, roses from the Paint Inlay Spring Melanie. And we're going to add them the same way we did the first project with that Dixie Belt flat clear coat. I am getting so tongue-tied with words tonight. It is past my bedtime, and I'm trying to get this video finished for y'all. So we're just going to apply the clear coat and then apply our paint inlay into that clear coat. Goodness grief. I hope y'all understood that. Smoothing it out with my fingers and then misting the top side of the inlay. And then, like always, I'm going to dry with my heat gun. I decided to do 3 inlays on the top of our filing cabinet, and then we will move to the sides and front. But I did want to wrap them around, as you seen when I applied that first inlay. So I'm having to use less inlays, but still get some design on the sides. I decided to work a section at a time on this project because I didn't really know what all I wanted to add to it. So here at the top, once those inlays were good and dry, I'm going to remist them and slowly peel that piece of paper back. And have y'all ever used a paint inlay? I know they are very intimidating, but I promise once you do it a few times, they are very, very addictive. And they're super easy. It's just like anything in the crafting world, practice makes perfect. I sell IOD products in my vendor booths, and I hardly ever sell a paint inlay. So y'all let me know, have y'all used them before? Are you a fan of them? Just let me know your thoughts, and I'm going to just let y'all watch me finish up applying these paint inlays on this project. I felt like adding a couple more details to our makeover filing cabinet. So this is a new mold, the Blossom mold, and this and the Wild Berries is my favorite mold from this release. I gave them a quick 1 coat of that raw silk, and now I'm adding some Titebond Quick and Thick to the back of the mold. And these were made from resin, and I'm just going to apply those. I am going to just apply 3 of them to the front of our filing cabinet using a wet paintbrush and a baby wipe to clean up any glue squeeze out, and that works really well. You need to clean up the glue squeeze out while it is wet because you will be able to notice it once it dries. Now, this is the scary part. I had ran out of my spray sealer, so I braved this one out. You have a chance of smearing your paint inlay when you use a water-based sealer to seal it, but they need to be sealed. So I loaded up my brush here and just did one coat over the entire box. A clip I did not record was adding a little bit of rub and buff to the tops of the mold, and I decided to add gold rub and buff to the clasp and handle. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this makeover. I absolutely love it. I would price it for $29.95. I picked up this wood box, round wood box from Salvation Army for 59¢. I'm going to dust it off and give it a coat of Apothecary by DIY. This is a clay-based paint, and I really wanted to wet distress this once I got the paint applied. So this was the perfect paint to use, and I very seldomly use bright colors, but I absolutely love this color. It's a very popular color, and I'm going to give our little box here 2 good coats. We are going to be adding one of the new transfers to our little box here. And I forgot to mention, I did wet distress this, but I forgot to record it, so I apologize. I just used a baby wipe to wet distress the edges. And the name of this transfer is Wild Bowman. I'm horrible with names. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but it's a gorgeous transfer. This is my favorite transfer from this release. It's full of gorgeous florals, butterflies, little insects, birds, lots of good designs in this transfer book. Since I am applying it to an uneven surface, I'm going to work section by section, really pressing down into the grooves on the top of our box. And once I get it applied, I'm going to use my hands to kind of push everything down, and I'll even use my fingernail and X-Acto knife to trim those harsh lines just to make sure everything has made a contact to something. It did crack, but that's perfectly fine. I wasn't going for a perfect look. I grabbed some little word transfers from that same book, and I'm just going to apply them to the bottom half of our wooden box. The thing I love about transfers is you can change them up. Like, I wanted this transfer to be shorter, so I just cut the stem. I'm going to apply the bottom leaf section down, and then I will figure out how much trimming I need to do to the other transfer stem and just align it up, and you never could tell that I cut this transfer in half. They are so customizable, and I really enjoy that about transfers. So now we need to seal our transfer and our DIY paint. So I'm going to use some DIY clear wax. Just going to put a little bit of wax out on my lid and seal over the whole project. I really enjoy waxing DIY paint. It just richens that color up and brings it back to life. Here you can see where I did that wet distressing, bringing back some of that wood detail. Without wiping away my clear wax, I'm going to come in with some Fusion Aging Wax right on top of that wet clear wax and buff this into all the details and all over our project. Then we'll come in with a blue shop towel and buff off all the excess wax. And that is it for this project. I think it turned out fun. It was very easy. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this project. I priced it for $8.95. Our last project for this round of projects is this ceramic pot. I've had this in my stash for quite some time. I'm going to give it a good clean with some Windex. I use Windex a lot to clean my thrifted items. It's just because it's easy and it has worked for me very well. So I'm going to give this thing a good wipe down. I'm going to let it completely dry, and we're going to use that same transfer book, just cutting out some of the floral designs, and I'm going to wrap the transfers around our ceramic pot. Every other little section, I'm going to put a bigger transfer on, and in between the sections, I'm going to add like a little insect, butterfly, a dragonfly, those kinds of things. I'm just going to let y'all watch me apply these transfers here. They stick like a dream to this ceramic piece. Once I got all my transfers down, I went over with one coat of clear matte polyacrylic to seal in all those transfer designs, and that is it for this project. I'm going to price it for $12.95. Y'all let me know what y'all think about our cute little planter. That is all the projects I was able to get finished for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed them. Y'all let me know which project was your favorite, and if you got any inspiration from today's video, hit that like button and consider subscribing if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell because I have several projects that I didn't quite get finished using this new release that I'm going to be sharing in next week's video. Thank y'all. Bye.